Good morning. Some things you just can't make up. And my life this last week has been one of those things. I've been on this wild adventure, and I wanted to share a little bit about that with you. So I am currently right now in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I'm at the Sleep Inn. Ironically, last weekend I was given my grandmother's Bible, along with all kinds of notes that she had in her Bible. And so I found something really interesting, and I was, typing up all this stuff that I found in her Bible, her notes, just trying to get to know how God was moving in her and working in her during her time. So anyways, I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. As I was typing, this screen popped up, at the top of your computer, and it said something about a hotel in Indiana, and it said Sleep Inn. And I was like, well, that's weird, because I'm not even looking up a hotel, but I am going to Indiana this weekend. And Sleep Inn notes are all in Nanny's Bible. In fact, she's even got some really super cute ones that little kids have colored on, ironically, in the book of Numbers. I guess if I was sitting through preaching in the book of Numbers, I would probably be drawing pictures too. However, one of them, so cute, one of them says, and it's written by a child. Nanny was a Sunday school teacher, so I'm assuming it was one of the kiddos. It said, "I like church. That is my favorite place to be over all the places in the world." What I thought was really super cute is at the very top, you can see where it's scribbled out. It said, "I love," and then they scribbled it out and put like, probably because it was Numbers that they were listening to. And then I found this one too, which I just thought was cute. Well, anyway, so I'm off track. I sidetrack a lot. So the screenshot pops up and it says, Sleep Inn, Indianapolis, Indiana. And I'm like, oh, well, that's where I'm going. And I almost got distracted and like, maybe I should reserve a room because I haven't done that yet. But I was like, no, I'm focused. I'm focused on what I'm doing here. I have a really hard time with focus, in case you haven't noticed that. So my husband calls me Squirrel. So I collect squirrels. So yeah, squirrely girl. Anyway, the screen pops up about the hotel, and I'm like, no, I can't get distracted. But then I notice the dates, and it says, I really wish I could show you a picture. It's on the computer, but it says check-in and check-out date. And the check-in date was 11/6, and the check-out date was 11/7, and it said for 2 guests. And I'm like, I'm not even going November, and then it hit me. November 6th is the day that my nanny had a stroke, and November 7th is the day that she died. And I was just like, okay, Jesus, I'm listening. So anyways, I set that aside. I continued doing what I was doing, but then it was time to come to Indiana to get ready for this retreat. Well, that morning, this is what I'm leading up to. That morning, I had really bad panic attack, anxiety attack, whatever you want to call it. It started the night before. Thought that my husband, something was wrong. He was not texting me back. He was out of town, out of state. And so by the Wednesday morning, I was just in a complete tizzy. I mean, to the point that I called the bank to try and locate him, because he had told me that he arrived at his room on Sunday. It's now Wednesday. I've not heard from him again. I threw a bunch of stuff in the suitcase. I ran out the door because none of the hotels would tell me whether he was with them or not. I was determined I was going to drive to Fort Wayne, Indiana, and find my husband. And about an hour down the road, he texts me and he's like, "Hey, I just woke up." And I'm like, anyway. So in a tizzy, frantic, not knowing what I even had in my backpack, suitcase, whatever, I left to go to Indianapolis a day early. I was going to leave out Thursday morning. So anyways, I decided I'll go ahead and find the convention center. I found the convention center, and now I need to find a place to stay, because I still haven't done that. And I don't know if you've been in downtown Indianapolis. I've never. It's crazy. So the traffic, there's people, there's traffic, and I'm like, so I'm trying to find a place to pull over to look up a hotel nearby. And it's just, on top of that, there's construction. So I end up getting back, like, through town onto the interstate. I drive down the interstate, and I'm like, okay, I need to come to an exit and get off so I can pull over and look for a hotel. Y'all, I pull off the next thing. I pull over and I Google hotels near me, and I end up across the street from Sleep Inn Indianapolis, Indiana. And it says up at the top, how cute is that? Jot down your dreams. And I was just like, that's just so, Jesus-like, to just interrupt your world, to say, hey, I know where you're going to be ahead of time, and then send you here and say, hey, dream. While you're here, dream a little, because I was not dreaming much when I was thinking that my husband was dead and I was trying to locate his truck and his body and whatever in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So how did I get so deceived and think that, just because I hadn't heard from my husband, that he must be dead? Taking the little bit of information I had, which is the last year has been super tragic and scary, and sudden things happen when you least expect it, and it's usually incredibly devastating. I jumped to that conclusion that was also what was happening. Dismissed it, put it out of my mind. I'm here at the hotel. I get up this morning. I want to make coffee in the room, but when I got here yesterday, some more crazy things happened, and I don't know how long you guys want to listen to me rattle. So I'll skip that. I'll come back to that later. If you guys are interested in these crazy things that happen to me, like the man that showed up at my door and asked if he could come in for a minute, that was fun. And then the coffee, hotels and coffee. Well, anyways, I get up this morning, and because I can't have the coffee that I wanted the night before, I'm going to go downstairs and get coffee. And I'm thinking I'll just bring it back to my room because, typically I'm not really much of wanting to hang out with people kind of person. And so, especially strangers, I go downstairs convicted that I need to stay downstairs for a little while. So I took my Bible with me and I went downstairs for my cup of coffee. Well, I met the lady that was handing out the breakfast stuff, and she shows me a picture. And she's like, oh, look at this butterfly, da-da-da-da, it's hanging out on the TV. And so she's showing me the picture of the butterfly, and we're looking at it hanging on the TV. And then I sent it to my husband, and he's like, that's a moth. And I'm like, oh, well, she said it was a butterfly, so I just assumed it was a butterfly. Well, to be honest, I don't know if it's a butterfly or a moth. I could probably try to upload the picture in the comments if that's possible, and y'all can tell me what you think. But as I sat there drinking my coffee, I decided I wanted to get warmed up, go get a little extra coffee in my coffee. And I took my cup and I turned from my seat. And when I turned from my seat, I saw the lady that I had been talking to, and there was a couple sitting at the table, right? So they're sitting here, and she's got a hand on each one of their shoulders, and they're all just down, and they're praying. And I'm just like, oh, Lord, no wonder you wanted me to be down here this morning. I'm going to witness this beautiful prayer, and maybe I can pray with them. And yeah, deceived again, right? I don't know if the butterfly is a butterfly or a moth, and these people aren't praying at all. I wait patiently, pray with them from a distance, and then realize the guy has a cigar in his mouth, which you can pray with a cigar in your mouth, it's whatever. And they're all staring at something. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I stand up, and I started laughing, and I was like, I'm seriously waiting to refill my coffee until you guys get done with your prayer, and you're not praying. But I was able to tell them that I prayed for them anyways, and they laughed. They thought it was kind of funny. Well, some of them laughed. She laughed. The couple just kind of looked at me like I was strange, but that's okay. I get that sometimes. So anyways, as I'm walking upstairs, I'm thinking, yeah, we are so easily deceived. And a lot of times we see what we want to see, or what we think we're supposed to see or going to see. And so it just kind of convicted me as I was sitting here, and I thought, we really have to be people of discernment, of real discernment. And how do we do that? Because whether somebody's praying or not, or whether it's a butterfly or a moth, isn't a huge deal. But there's a lot of decisions that we make in life based on our assumptions. And so I just want to encourage you today, if you're facing a decision, or if you are looking at a situation and convinced that it is a certain thing, step back for just a minute. Step back, take a deep breath, say a prayer, ask God for wisdom. Is there a reference in the Bible that he can send you to? Is there a godly person in your life that he can send you to ask for their advice, their wisdom? Because sometimes it's in the multitude of other people and other resources that we are able to find the clarity of God in our lives. So anyways, I just wanted to jump on and encourage you all with that this morning. I pray you have a blessed day. Pray for me. It is a tough weekend, as you all know. Last weekend was the first anniversary of my son's passing. Oh, I don't want to cry today. But today is the first not the first anniversary of his baptism, but it's the anniversary of the day that he was baptized. And tomorrow is his birthday and also the day that my dad died. And so I am spending the weekend surrounding myself with wisdom from above by attending a conference called Heaven Rules. My dad and my son are in heaven, and I thought, what better place to be on 9/23 than in a place that's celebrating that heaven rules. So, God love you all. Have a wonderful day. Bye.